American football, every American's favorite sport and pastime. A highly enjoyed version of it is high school football. From the Friday night lights to the rivalry game, from the preseason scrimmages to the playoffs, it is enjoyed by everyone and there will always be a game that you would like.
So, now that we are all familiar with the topic at hand, we can move on to the school I will be making this video for. Oak Grove High School, home of the Oak Grove High School Grizzlies. Most of you go to this high school, so these will be some cool facts that you probably didn't know about your football team. Anyway, OGHS is a relatively new school that was founded during the 2017-18 school year, and it resides in the small town of Walburg, North Carolina. The football team was formed in the first year of the school's history. The 17-18 football program only had a junior varsity, or JV for short, team, but in the next year they were able to have a varsity team as well. The coach of the football team was the former well-renowned North Davidson football coach, Mark Holcomb. Coach Holcomb recently came off of a string of playoff appearances for North Davidson and almost had the state title as well, which caused North Davidson fans to be resentful, hence creating the greatest rivalry in Oak Grove history. Oak Grove High School versus North Davidson High School, battle for the bell. The first ever football game that Oak Grove played was against the Pinecrest Patriots. They were able to slash through the Patriots with a score of 13-12, winning their first ever game. It was a close game, but a win's a win. The second game was the big rivalry game against the North Davidson Black Knights, as we mentioned earlier. And the Grizzlies got destroyed 37-0. Moving on from that, Oak Grove's first home game was against the West Davidson Dragon. The Grizzlies ended up succumbing to the Dragon's power with a score of 31-23. Robert Creason, the assistant coach, was the coach for that game, but he was able to hold his own for most of the game, and they almost won, so kudos to him for that. But on the bright side, they won every other game that season and ended up going 8-2 as a JV-only team, and ended off winning their season finale against the East Davidson Golden Eagles with a score of 30-15. The 2018-2019 season had the first ever varsity team for Oak Grove High School. The first ever varsity game was a home game against the Carver Yellow Jackets, and the Grizzlies fashionably beat the Yellow Jackets 40-12. Also, in the following year, Oak Grove finally beat their big bad rivals, North Davidson, with a score of 30-24. But unfortunately, that year they ended with an under 500 record of 5-6. But this so far has been the only year that this happened, and Oak Grove football seems to be only going up from here. Even though the Oak Grove Grizzlies football team is still young, it has already amassed 3 big rivals. Let's get into the quick analysis for each of them. The North Davidson Black Knights are the biggest rivals to the Oak Grove Grizzlies. This started because Oak Grove High School was originally made to relocate some of the students from the overpopulation of the North Davidson student body. Another big reason for their rivalry is that Coach Holcomb left the prosperous Black Knights for the new, unproven Oak Grove Grizzlies, which felt like a betrayal to the Black Knights. And their fury is clearly on display with a 6-2 all-time record against the Grizzlies. But things are looking up for Oak Grove in this rivalry, as North Davidson has been on a bit of a football decline. The Ledford Panthers are also fierce rivals with the Oak Grove Grizzlies. They were also victims of overpopulation in their school and had some students move to Oak Grove. The rivalry began almost immediately as Mark Holcomb was the coach of Ledford's previous arch rival, North Davidson. So naturally it carried on over to Oak Grove. This rivalry has been premiered on television several times on My 48 and are normally each other's homecoming games. Oak Grove leads the rivalry 5-1, but Ledford gives them a challenge every year, and they are a very consistent and strong team every year that the Grizzlies have to play them. The Davidson Spartans have a big rivalry with the Oak Grove Grizzlies too. The Spartans are rough, tough, and dirty players. They're pretty underhanded as well, always scheduling easy teams to buff up their record, but always end up losing to us anyway, and a bit of the conference, while being first round exits as well. So the Central Davidson Spartans, have an interesting but obsolete wing T offense that is hard to deal with, but not unbeatable. Oak Grove has a sweeping record of 6-0 against the Spartans, and it will probably stay that way. The rivalry started ever since Oak Grove entered the 3A West 47 Conference. Oak Grove will likely stay sweeping these frauds. Safe to say that Oak Grove football is in good hands and will be for a while. Coming off an undefeated regular season and a conference championship, and making it to the second round of the playoffs speaks for itself. Now just watch. Oak Grove will be great. They have only been getting better every year. Just watch. Oak Grove will be an amazing team. So, that's the history of Oak Grove football. I want to thank my old former coach, Mark Holcomb, and the new head coach for Oak Grove football, Robert Creason. The one I mentioned earlier was the assistant coach. Yeah, now he's the head coach. And I could not have found many of this early 2017 to 18 information without them. So a big appreciation to them for what they did and for helping me with that. And just appreciate them for being good coaches as well. But I also want to thank Max Prep's website. I could not have found much of this information without them, and I am very appreciative that they have a website that documents high school football. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next Nilbog video, whenever it will be. But trust me, we will make a Nilbog video before the end of summer, somehow. Alright, thank you guys, bye.